In the previous vlog, you saw me fail my way through expanding the backyard, but we got it done. In this video, I will break ground on my shed build. Yep, we're building a shed. But Treppers never do anything regular, so it's not going to be a traditional build. This will be a 12 by 20 shed created from a carport. I will buy additional material to enclose it and build doors. But we're not there yet. Today, we're going to construct the foundation. At this point, I've actually decided which way I want to orient the 12 by 20 dimension. Initially, I thought I wanted it to go this way, being long ways, but now I realize I want the 20 feet to go in this direction. And so ultimately, about here is the center of where I will have the carport. Now, no matter which way I chose to orient this problem child stump, this is the problem child. It's within or will be inside of the 12 by 20 dimension regardless. So that's one that I'm gonna have to definitely make sure that I continue to just gnaw at it slowly and get it below the soil. I've decided to sit the base of the carport on top of pressure-treated 4x4 posts that are rated for ground contact. I measured and cut, making sure that the assembled dimension of the posts matches that of the carport. I used plates to create joints where necessary. I attached the corners with GRK screws and created 90-degree plates for the inside corners. Next, I pre-drilled holes for the 1/2-inch rebar that I intend to drive through the posts into the ground to hold it in place. Boom, there it is. For each hole that I drilled into the 4x4 posts, I'm gonna run 1/2-inch rebar to stake it to the ground and to hold it in place as a retainer for the gravel. Here's the question. I've got 13 4-foot rebar, 1/2-inch, that I'm going to be cutting in half at 2 feet. So each stake is going to be about 2 feet long. How many of those 4-inch cutoff discs do y'all think it's going to take me to cut through 13 1/2-inch rebar? Turns out it only took half of a cutoff disc. I tested the weight of the frame and durability of my joints. Then, with a little ingenuity, I devised a way to easily transfer the frame to its final location. All right, so I just recently attached 2 hand trucks to one side of the frame, and now it's time for me to actually move it. And you know, Big Trep do got muscles, but I had to recruit a couple more muscles to help me out. Now somebody running, but y'all can see back here, I don't think y'all have ever had a Sleepy Trep is what we call her. So we got Sleepy Trep, and then we gonna call this one, we gonna call this one Niecy Trep. The one who running from the camera. That worked perfectly. I started leveling the frame, digging out under the posts so from side to side it would be level. In retrospect, there's a lot I would do differently. I encountered a lot of roots and stumps that made this process tough. I should have set the high side on the surface and built the low side up to level. It would have required more material, but it would have cut the amount of digging down significantly. Instead, I split the difference and dug to drop the high side some and still raised the lower side some. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm setting the slope so that it's about at 1/4 inch per foot. And the way you read this is based on the edge of the bubble lining up with the measurement. So you don't read based on where the middle of the bubble is. You read it based on the edge of the bubble, the far edge. Of course, I need this side to be my high side. So this bubble should not be at 0 slope. I'm trying to set it to 1/4 inch slope. For every foot, it would drop 1/4 inch. So on a 20-foot building, there should be about 5 inches of drop. And of course, because this was cut into multiple sections and I have multiple splices, each leg of this, I'm trying to make sure that it is relatively at 1/4 inch. So here it's not exactly perfect, but it's pretty close. It's closer to 3/8, but not quite. So at any rate, the goal is to make sure that the roof has proper drainage, right? So generally speaking, on average, I am at about 1/4 inch, as you can see, as I continue to move down. And so I'm pretty satisfied with that. And so that means that thus far, this side, this far back edge is going to be perfectly level because it's the back of the building. Now this length here needs to be sloped 5 inches in total from the furthest, from this corner to this corner. There should be a 5-inch difference, with this being the low side. Since this is the back of the building, I want water to drain off the back of it. And so now that technically 2 sides have been set properly, once this edge is done, the building will have the proper slope and be on grade so that drainage is proper. During the process, I ran into another annoying root or stump, whatever you want to call it, and thought it was small enough to pull. I wanted to use these chains and pulleys so bad. Big Trep, just chill, bro. You doing too much. You haven't learned to just keep it simple? See, was that so hard? I took a break for like a day. When we last left off, I think you guys saw me trying to get rid of a pretty difficult stump that was over here in this back edge. This edge ended up being extremely difficult because it ended up being dropped below the grade of the soil, which means that I encountered a lot of difficult roots, most of them literally running perpendicular to this. So I had to put in a lot of effort, continuously pick this up, drop it down, pick it up, drop it down, dig out, dig out, dig out. And at this point, I have set a slope on each side that is 1/4 inch per foot, which will total in the front corner being about 5 inches higher than the back corner, considering this is a 20-foot building. Now, from side to side is level. Perfectly level. Here to here is perfectly level. Here to here is perfectly level. And the 1/4 inch per foot slope is the same, is uniform on each side. So that should be everything that I need. I've also placed bricks under each joint. So as you can see, this is the joint, here is a brick. So for every corner and every side that has a joint, I placed bricks under it. 1 or 2 depending on how much of a gap there was. First I need to make sure that it's square, and then I'm going to stake it to the ground with rebar going through these 1/4 inch holes that we have right here. Once this is staked, the next thing that I'm going to have to address, which is going to be very difficult, and unfortunately I've been doing everything with hand tools. I'm going to have to get this to where all of this soil that is high and above the 4x4 posts, it's going to have to get moved over to there so that this can have a level set of gravel throughout, or at least something close to it. From this corner to this corner is 284 even. Now from that corner to this corner is 284 3/8. So what I'm gonna do is, of course, split the difference. And to help me square this, I'm gonna go ahead and stake off this one back corner that's below grade. And then I'm gonna pull this corner to stretch it about 3/16. And that should make this perfectly square. So, because 3/16 is half of, y'all see Jamie peeing in the middle of my work area? Come on, man. 3/16 should be halfway to split the difference between the two dimensions. Honestly, I'm like, that's not bad. Over a 20 plus foot span, there's only a 3/8 of a difference. That's relatively close to square for me, but I'm gonna see if I can make it perfect. I staked the back corner, gave the front corner a few taps, and I would like to let you all know that we are exactly at 284 3/16 on each diagonal. I find that to be amazing because this thing has been twisted, lifted, dropped, twist, moved, shaked, blah, 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 a whole bunch. And for this to actually be the exact same measurement, I couldn't be happier. So what I'm gonna do now is stake this diagonal, and hopefully that'll help keep everything where it's supposed to be. I think what I'm also gonna do is make those bricks very pretty up under it, like just make them nice and square and make a nice little mark so I can see if I get off of it as I bang those rebar stakes in. I kept it simple this time and used the chainsaw to finish that stump the grinder couldn't handle. And as I started moving all the dirt from the high side to the low side, I uncovered a stump that was too high to let it stay. It's been 8 hours, and this stump has been the better of that 8 hours. So I've spent an entire day working tirelessly to excavate around, find out the root pattern, expose the roots, cut them away with my reciprocating saw and chainsaw, and slowly dissect this thing. I had to start wide around the stump, then start tracing the roots back. At first glance, these roots are so thick, I thought they were like root walls, not even roots. You can see where I've been using the chainsaw to eat down, then go as low as I can and come toward the stump. So this is how far I've made it today. This has been, the entire day, so I didn't want to bore you all with it, but this is what today has consisted of. I've been able to excavate under each of these two main arteries that run to it. So I feel like if I cut these here and here, there and there, well, really this one is already diced off on the end, so just cut this one off, boom, remove this one, boom, and then I can do one flush cut across the bottom and this stump will be gone. I'm gonna try to do this and complete this today. I'm running out of sunlight but you can see how long my shadow is and I'm sitting down. But I'm gonna keep going, not gonna stop, and hopefully this will be done soon. I will admit, this definitely feels like the home stretch. One clean pass through the bottom, and I should be done. Oh man, I'm tired, y'all. This stump has taken me all day. I decided to give the chainsaw a rest so that y'all saw how hard I was working it just now in that other clip. Top of the morning, Treppers. As y'all can see, I've smoothed the dirt back over. You can't even tell where that stump was. It just looks like dirt now. I got a few little small roots poking up, but we're gonna deal with that soon enough. Now, I'm gonna wet the soil, tamp it down, and we're basically getting prepared for gravel. In the next vlog, we'll be taking a trip to the gravel yard. Thanks for watching.